Now, from science that unlocks the past to the kind that's building the future. Ever heard of thermochromic bricks or aerogel? Neither had we until we sent Tom Dykoff to the UK's first ever materials library for a close-up look at some of the substances that are shaping the buildings of tomorrow.
Some of the most iconic buildings and sculptures of the past few decades are more than just straightforward bricks and mortar. Take the Angel of the North. It's made of weathering steel, which rusts red but won't crack. And that shiny skin that covers the Guggenheim in Bilbao is titanium sheathing, a material that's corrosion resistant in the salty Atlantic air. Sometimes I think we don't give enough credit to the physical materials that make up the cities we all live in. There's often more to them than meets the eye. I'm here at King's College London to meet a man who's made it his mission to open our eyes to the infinite possibilities of the material world. This is Dr. Mark Miodownik. A decade ago, he set up the UK's very first materials library, a cabinet of curiosities from all over the world. Despite filling only 2 humble rooms, there are over 1,000 materials in here. It's a playpen for the materially minded. So Mark, why set up the materials library?
I'm a material scientist, and I spend a lot of my time working with equations and numbers, designing new materials and understanding materials. And after a while I realised, I don't actually see the material that I'm working on. So I thought, well, I must have samples of it. And then my colleagues also said that they wanted to contribute samples. And so this big place is not really about what's available now, but what might be available in the future. It's like a sort of jumping off point.
So Mark, out of all the thousands of materials here, which is your favourite?
I mean, to say my absolute favourite would be to upset some of the other materials, but here, be amazed and staggered by the lightest material in the world, called aerogel.
Well, it's the stuff inside. It looks like a ghost.
There we are. Now that is an extraordinary material.
What is it? What is it?
It's a glass foam used by NASA to collect space dust. It's 99.8% air, so it's only 0.2% solid. And that 0.2% is glass, silica.
It's incredibly beautiful. It does look ghostly, doesn't it? It looks incredibly...
Yeah, some people call it solid smoke.
Aerogel is made up of an extremely fine foam. The holes are just 10 atoms across. Imagine if it was added to the simple window. Double glazing works by trapping air between 2 glass panes. If you added aerogel to these 2 sheets of glass, you're creating billions of air gaps for the heat to try and get through. It's potentially an incredibly efficient form of insulation. So that was aerogel. What other treasures have you got?
What about the thermochromic brick? I really should find a better place for this. So it looks like a brick, although it's blue, but it has a very special property, which I'll show you. I need to imitate a sunny day with this blowtorch. There we go. So this is a sunny day.
Oh, wow.
When it gets hot, it changes colour, and you can see as it gets colder again, it's going to go back to being blue.
Right.
And it could be any colour. We chose blue, but it could be pink, yellow. This is what's called a thermochromic pigment.
These bricks incorporate a dye that can change its colour in different temperatures. Imagine what they could do if they were used to make a building. On hot days, the bricks would heat up and turn white to reflect the heat. Just think, you wouldn't need to install any air conditioning, which could help reduce your carbon footprint. It's not just blue sky thinking which can be found here, though. The library also has samples of materials from the real world.
I've got self-cleaning plastic, as seen in the Eden project, actually, on the roof of it. I think this is the one. Imagine this as the roof of a building.
Like a giant piece of bubble wrap.
Yeah. Now, it's a sort of non-stick plastic, just like there's a non-stick coating on your frying pan. And if you add some air, and in a sense you're making a composite material, right, of plastic air. Of course, they don't use manual bicycle pumps on the roofs of these buildings. Now look at this. It's actually a nice blue thing.
Oh God, it almost feels solid.
So as a material, as a composite material, it's actually a very attractive, lightweight solution and quite inexpensive too.
Not only does ETFE look good on a budget, it can also clean itself. The ETFE is non-stick because it's made up of carbon-fluorine bonds, which have a similar molecular structure to a non-stick frying pan. Not even a gecko can climb up this. As nothing will stick to it, whenever the wind blows or it rains, the roof is cleaned. Genius. So what's the next?
This stuff is called concrete cloth. Basically, if you add water, you can make emergency shelters in situ, which are extremely strong, extremely sturdy, keep the rain and the wind off people, and you can do it almost instantly. So it actually takes about 24 hours for this to cure.
So you can carry this with you and then just add water, literally. Just
exactly.
Add water.
Yeah. You sprinkle water onto it, and we've yet to see, the kind of things people will do with this material because it's only just come out.
Concrete cloth is a textile impregnated with cement powder and put on a PVC backing. You can mould it into any shape that you like, then just add water and wait for the cloth to set. The final material is strong, tough, a good thermal insulator and waterproof. It could become the perfect material for a fast temporary shelter in an emergency zone. Although it is rather heavy, so don't plan on taking it on a camping trip.
There's so many materials all crammed into these 2 rooms. I mean, do you ever feel like you need to expand?
Yes, well, I think we'd like it to be like a British materials library. Everyone should be able to get access to this facility in the future. It's both serious and fun, and I think that's often where the most interesting stuff happens.
Think how boring our buildings are. All we use is concrete, steel, glass, wood, stone, a bit of brick. But if all architects paid a visit to the materials library, it would blow their mind and turn our cities into truly magical places.
Fascinating stuff. And the materials library should be in new premises in Somerset House by next year. Now, science and its endless